Well, good evening. My name is M.A.T. Rodriguez. I am with the Navy Reserve. So I know from the classes here, you guys are with cybersecurity. So one of the major things that we do look for is cybersecurity. So what we are doing right now with the reserve is there's actually a lot of opportunity, especially because it's part-time and you guys are going to school. This gives you the opportunity to finish your degree, but also at the same time, there is opportunity to get a bonus. So a bonus right now is 20 grand for 3 years of service. So it's just part-time, you're just doing it one weekend a month and then 2 weeks you're training. Right? So they're very flexible when it comes to actually doing a job college-wise. So you're just showing up and the closest location will be here in San Antonio. It's within like the 50-mile radius. So one of the main focuses right now that the Navy is working on is getting an actual specifically for cybersecurity. But right now there's various ones. But I would like to let you know specifically for cybersecurity what they offer right now. So I want to say thank you to Ms. Barnett for allowing me to come and speak to you guys. So I'm not the best speaker, so just to let you guys know. Awesome. Oh no, I appreciate it. So I just want to let you know, I was supposed to have our chief recruiter here, which is going to be Chief Warrant Officer Kibble, but unfortunately he had a little emergency, so I'll be covering all of his topics basically. So I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak in the class. And so right now, there's a thing called 1885 Marty Cybers and the 1825 for information professional. Right. The minimum for this program is basically a bachelor's degree from an accredited institution. This is required a major field of study related to cybersecurity, cloud computing, computer digital forensics, internet security, computer science, computer engineering, computer programming, software engineering, systems engineering, network operations and network administration, information security and assurance, information technology and information systems, machine learning and data science is required. An undergraduate curriculum, the grade point average, the GPA is 3.0 or greater, or 4.0 scale is required. Civilian work is also information systems, cybersecurity. So one of the things that is required is to already have that job experience. But I know you be in here and then job wise, sometimes it doesn't correlate. However, if
in their associate's degree, they have to do an internship as far as their graduation.
Oh, perfect. So that is good. So it leads up to that. So they take that into account as well. All right. So then, but that's good to know. All right. So the cybersecurity is valuable. So for civilian work that does come accounted. The applicants must include the resume a minimum of 3 references, and then 2 or 3 of the references still be employment related. As well, the third shall be a character reference. So must be able to attain a TS or CI, sorry, SCI. Let's step out here real quick. All right, now applicants must be 18 years and less than 42 at the time of commissioning. Waivers beyond the age of 54 will not be considered. Prior the qualifying service will be considered for year-to-year credit to the age of 50. If selected, new commission officers would attend a 5-week officer program course in Newport, Rhode Island. So for this information, I will have Ms. Barnett, if you can, pass that information to you guys if you guys are interested. For further information, please contact, which is going to be Chief Warrant Officer Steve Dunham, which is going to be 210-917-3589. And then his email is going to be Steven, STEVN .m.DUCHARME.MIL, and then at USD.com. So those are the requirements as far as for officer to become an officer with cybersecurity. Now, if you're looking to, let's say you're looking for a way to pay for the college, so while you're in the reserves, before commissioning, you can enter into an enlistment and work your way up. It'll be an easier transition. You already got your foot in the door and you're getting paid while you're going to college. And they have a tuition program that can also by paying for it, and then also have the phone and getting paid for $20,000. And then, but I mean, if you guys have any questions or concerns, let me know. And that's pretty much it, just to cover everything. And I'll be leaving a flyer also, in
Yes,
case that they have more information.
I am attaching those documents right now in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. For you. Are there any questions? Open your mics, ask any questions that you may have, or put them in the chat, and I will read them out loud if you don't want to talk on the microphone.
I'll stand by to try to answer the question.
But key points to remember, you can do full-time service, you can graduate, go in and you will go in as an officer, or if you want to go in part-time as a reserve, that pays $20,000 a year as a reserve. And that is how many weeks out of the year?
It's 1 week in a month.
1 weekend out of the month, 2 weeks a year for $20K part-time. Do they have any school? Do they y'all help pay for school?
So they get a tuition assistance program as well, and then while they're going to their weekend, they also get that, they'll get their pay as well for that 1 weekend, and then also there's also incentives, like if you wanted to actually kind of like do an active duty type of stint. So they have an opportunity where they can stay here in San Antonio, they just gotta find the village, and then they can continue to go to school and they're getting paid full time.
What are the physical requirements for the reserve program?
So the physical requirements, you have to make sure that you meet the height requirement, which they do got a weight requirement. However, if let's say they, you're a little bit off, what they can do is right now they do got where they go to boot camp, right? So pretty much you're gonna put everything on hold to go to boot camp. It's an extended program, but they will help you get you where you need to be. And then also they'll check like for body fat just to make sure you meet those requirements.
Does that answer your question, Michael? 18 to 42.
42. So ours is up to 42. But if you have years of service, it kind of like it'll take away years. So basically it'll put you like, let's say you were 42, you did 4 years. So it'll kind of put you down to like 30, 38 there.
And the 42, that including the cyber series as well?
Yes, it's for, so let's say if you don't want to go for cyber, but you want to check something else out, it's for a variety. But yes, like, specifically we do look for cybersecurity. Okay, that's like the number one thing right now is like real big is cybersecurity.
Okay, so I know they have to do like exemption checks and for doctors, just wondering if cyber, somebody who's graduating here a little older. So it's 42. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, we do have a video for y'all.
See that guy come in and investigate, track how they got in.
And is very specific to computer networking. We're very focused on preventing
So
other actors
add all the documents
from
on
getting into our systems.
YouTube
And on
channel
the flip side, getting
Yeah.
intelligence.
so that when they go
various
back to
means
reference
for our
our
government.
videos that we record, all that
This is
stuff
the new frontier. Like, this is the new warfare.
is available for.
What
We
else?
have offensive cyber operations,
We're typically known as a quote-unquote hackers with the Navy.
and then there's defensive cyber operations, protecting the networks, protecting the infrastructure.
We actually have an incident response kit. We take it on a site, take traffic from a network, and we do analysis based off an incident. I try to make little tweaks to make it even better than what it is.
Cyber changes daily, and you have to know how to change with it. You have to have that training, and you have to have the adaptability.
NSA coming straight out of college was really, really hard to get into. And I'm doing the same job and getting to do it for the Navy.
Okay, Mr. Carlos, what kind of questions do you have?
Yes. First of all, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Excellent. So I do have a question regarding for, is there any requirement, say for like any IT certifications that you need to have prior to joining the Navy, or does the Navy pretty much like provide the resources for you while you're training with them?
So there's certain requirements as far as these specifically being like for the officers, then yes, you will need specific qualifications for that. Now, if you're just gonna go into the reserves and kind of just like want to peek through school and just do part-time and continue going to school, then that you do not need certain certifications. They will get you certified. I hope that answered the question.
Okay, so if you want to go for full-time officer training, do you need to have your IT certifications beforehand?
You need to have a degree
or
to be an
just-
officer.
Oh, okay, so just a degree. Like it doesn't matter if you already have IT certifications or not.
No,
Is that
so
what you mean?
basically, yeah, so if you it does help you, it does help you. Cause so they have to fill in certain officer billets, right? So which is like the amount of jobs. So it's like you're competing with other individuals for that one spot. So, and it's like a yearly thing, they'll look at the cycle and they'll pretty much, but if you do have all of that, that's gonna help you in the long run.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, guys? Don't be shy. She's here.
I mean, I'll still like, even if they have questions, I'll leave my information just in case if they wanna ask me on the side, that's fine.
Questions? What you got?
I do have another
One second.
question.
We got somebody in the classroom that has one, Carlos.
Oh, sorry.
Did you mean you have to have a bachelor's?
Yes,
Yes, it's a bachelor's degree, yes. Typically, yes, or the other program.
that is a good question. So the question was asked in the classroom, do you have to have a bachelor's degree? Is that what considers it as an officer? And yet the answer is yes, you have to have the 4-year bachelor's degree if you want to go in as an officer. Now, Carlos, what did you have, sweetie?
Oh, I was just curious. Is there your POC indicated on the document? Just out of curiosity, the point of contact. I mean.
Oh, the contact person you're getting ready.
Oh, yes, so what I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna go ahead and give my contact information, but yeah, so they're gonna have a link for you guys as far as like trying to get in contact with us for more information also, so there, like I said, there's a chief warrant officer, he's the one that specifically will help you out with that. I just pretty much, I just reading, I sort, and that's pretty much what I do. Unless you wanna go enlisted side, then that's where I help you out, so I'm kinda like the assistant for
So
the program.
on one of the documents that was put into the chat, the flyer actually has Mr. Steve's number and his email on the top of the flyer.
Yes.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask, could you talk about the difference between enlistment and officer?
Yes, okay, so the officer is where you're gonna need a bachelor's. So it just automatically bachelor's, like there's no in it for bus, like that is the main requirement. Now for the enlisted part, right? So right now they are working on actually getting a job in the Navy within like this year for cybersecurity specifically. But right now it's being tailored to intelligence. They're looking at master at arms, which is actually like what I am. So actually like on the expertise side, but right now I am, like I said, I'm recruiting with the officers and reserves program right now. So what we do specifically, if there's something like kind of intel cyber, we actually do the investigations. Right? So it just depends. So it will vary from the IT, they got another one called CWT, which is kind of encrypted and it deals focusing with nothing but with technology. So I hope I was able to distinguish those.
So is there any benefits, perks from the difference between doing the, I'm just gonna enlist, I don't have a degree, versus waiting, finishing the bachelor's degree and enlisting afterwards with the bachelor's degree? Is there a difference between being a enlisted and an officer perk wise?
Yes, so it is actually better to go officer, and we'll let you know, it's better to go officer, it's better pay and it's better opportunity. However, on the enlisted side, you actually see it from their side because it's like the lower level and you start learning, you know, the tricks of the trade. And then you come from that understanding, knowing exactly what they go through and you know what components that you're gonna have to kind of hit on.
So pretty much officers go in as managers,
Yes, and then.
but enlisted are the actual workers and they have to work their way up to management.
Yes, However, if they actually kind of get their foot in the door as enlisted, they can actually start working with an officer recruiter, which is gonna make the transition much easier. And then move over, like, remember I told you there's gonna be, like, they're gonna look at who has the better packet together. The person who's already in as an enlisted, we're gonna take them, because they already know what's going on.
So there's an opportunity, if they go in as enlisted, they could later on transition to officer
Yes,
candidate school
yes, that is correct.
and go in and change and become an officer.
Yes. So like I said, there's different, or unless you wanna finish your degree, that is the other option as well.
And if somebody was within that gap of 40 to 42, if they went in as enlisted, they would be fill in.
No, you can still, so let's say that you're already at that cutoff age, right? You're at 42. So just get your foot into the door. You're already in the door, right? So you already are in the reserve. So even if you're 43, you can still go on for the officer programs.
So to clarify, so if you are 42 years old right now, but you're not finished with your degree, you can go in as a part-time reserve at 42, and then when you finish, go all the way in.
Yes, that is correct. That's like the little loophole to get in.
Loopholes. We love loopholes.
Unless they were prior service, then they will take the age off. So that's another thing also.
The prior service would be prior military service.
Yes, in any
Not cyber
branch.
service.
Yes.
Any branch.
Yes.
Enlisted, not civilian.
Yeah.
So they should be what.
Yeah.
Well, you could always join up.
No, I would love to. I would love to, but I'll see.
Okay, guys, any other questions? What is the TS/SCI? Saw this from the shared document.
Top secret clearance.
Top secret clearance. Top secret and secret.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong, okay, so the top secret clearance, that's top tier. That one is, they're gonna do a full, complete investigation, they're gonna investigate your family, friends, everything, I mean, everything from, it's gonna take a very long time. Now, compared to the other one, the secret, you get only certain general information, right? They will still complete the full investigation, but not as much, but you're gonna have full clearance to everything with the top, so it's better to have a top security clearance.
You ask, what is TS/SCI? SCI.
Oh, the SCI. Sorry, because so bear
It's
with
okay.
me, so this is the information that the chief warrant officer was supposed to cover,
Yep.
but yeah, so I will try my best.
I can help out with that.
Yes, if you don't mind.
So, the SCI is a secret compartmentalized, information, pretty much. So what that means is you're read into particular projects based on what you're working on and based on your job series. Or your bullet that's assigned to you.
Okay.
So,
You have a good understanding.
yes, I
Yeah.
can put that one.
Okay,
So we have 2 questions in the chat. Is there a competitive application? I'm interested because in cybersecurity, because my dad is a vet
okay, so yes, it is very competitive.
in that cybersecurity world.
Yes, because there is actually a lot of, let's say, there's a lot of vets when they're getting out, they're transitioning out, they wanna focus on school, a lot of them are actually going for cybersecurity. So it's gonna be like, for those jobs, they only can fill in so many, and once they fill it in for that year, you have to wait till the next fiscal year to actually apply. So it is very competitive.
So, Michael, this is not an odd question because my son and I even had these concerns. Because my son is in the Navy. Would tattoos be an issue?
Okay, I do have a tattoo.
She does have one behind her ear. Yes.
So the way that works, the Navy apparently is one of the only ones that will give you a waiver for neck tattoos or hand tattoos. Army, from my understanding, is also the same. I can't speak for the other branches, but as far as tattoos, if, let's say, there's certain tattoos that are not allowed, but you will.
Gang tattoos, pretty much, my son's recruiter said, you know, you're clean, you don't have gang affiliated tattoos, you do not have inappropriate tattoos or graphic tattoos, and they're not satanic. They use that term. They're not satanic. So as long as those are not visible, neck, hands, forearms, you're pretty much in the clear. Mr. Cyrus Parker, did you have a question? Your hand is raised.
Yes, ma'am, I do. Can you hear me just fine?
I can hear you perfectly.
Alrighty. I do have a question in regards to your possible personal experience and opinion. So, what advice would you give to someone like me who's looking to pursue my career in cybersecurity in any of the armed forces? And how does the Navy distinguish themselves in cybersecurity from the other ones?
Okay, that's
Why
actually a
are
really good
y'all,
question.
why are y'all better?
Yes. Well, because I mean, like, we travel compared to everybody else. So that's what distinguishes the Navy compared to everybody else. But no, with that being said, so from my personal experience and just from my knowledge, I would actually say, and just advice is, if you're reaching out to all branches, I would suggest speak with every single one of them, because not everyone's going to offer the same thing, because they each have their own specialties or pros or cons. So you want to make sure that you're set up for your career where it's going to advance you.
And remember, they all have a number in which they have to fill job position wise. So the Navy may have 36, but the Army may have 2,000. You know, so it all depends on how many job positions they have to fill as to where you're going to get the best deal.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you so much for that.
No, you're very welcome.
But I will say I am partial to the Navy. I'm just, you're always on a beach.
Yes, and I will say this, like, so my majority of my family are all different branches, right? So my father was a Marine, grandfather was Army, my sister went Air Force, my brother went Army, and then I went Navy. So we went all different ways. But like I said, we all support each other. But yeah, we have little jokes going here and there. But like I said, you know what? At the end of the day, we have the same mission. So, but like I said, it's gonna be your choice. You want to make sure you're setting yourself up for success.
So to answer your question, Chili, everyone, whether you're an officer or an enlisted, you will go through some type of boot camp training. And then from that point, and please correct me, you will go to what is called A school. A school is your introductory schooling for your job. And then from A school, you're going to go to C school. And C school does not mean ABC. C school is SEAC. So you will be with a division, a ship, a boat, a unit. You will be assigned, and whether that unit is actually on the water, they may not be. They may be at dock, but you are assigned to a specific unit. I came in late. I was wondering if there is a civilian pathway. I'm not very interested in going through boot camp. Well, no, Mr. Gustavo, we have three options. We have, you can go in part-time as a reserve, which is 1 weekend out of the month, 2 full weeks out of the year, and you get paid $20,000. Yes, you have to go through boot camp. Or you can go in as an enlisted, which is no degree. Or you can go in as an officer, and that is higher pay, better rankings, you're the boss, and you have to have a bachelor's degree. And civilian is a completely different presentation, yes.
There might, never know. There's a lot of things out there.
Mhm.
Yeah, there are some civilian.
Any other questions, guys? These are great questions.
I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Wells.
What are the requirements for the cyber warfare engineer
Cyber
position right now?
warfare engineering.
Okay, so the cyber warfare engineering rate, so they're all pretty much the same requirements, the ones that we mentioned over. So it's gonna be there, it's the same requirements as you're gonna see when they pull up, when they pull this one.
Cyber warfare technician?
Yes, so
No.
it will list pretty much exactly what they're looking for and what you need to, like, what you need to have pretty much in your background.
No, okay. I was just wondering because I think the last time I spoke with Campbell, he said they changed the requirements for this the CWE, the I guess it's the bachelor's completion program or something.
Yeah, so were you going for the active duty or were you going for the reserves? Because they do have different requirements, so it just depends. And then also if you're looking into actually going into the officer program.
Yeah, I was trying to get into the officer, the CWE job billet, not the CWT, the CWE one.
The CWE?
Yes.
Engineering.
Engineering. Oh, okay. So that one would be a little bit different, right? So there's different officer programs, but specifically this one, I can only tell you, but I would actually have to bring in the officer who actually focuses on that to kind of give you a little bit more information. So unfortunately, I don't have that, but I can actually send that information to Ms. Barnett and then pass it on to you.
And we
all right.
can have them back, guys. Mr. Carlos, you had another question?
Yes. So earlier you were talking about how you could get stationed on a ship or any of the naval installations in the country. Do they, I guess, like, do they give you like an option in terms of preference? Where do you want to work, or is it kind of like up to them?
Well, they give you the opportunity to speak where you want to go. But keep in mind, you're offering suggestions that might not happen. They are filling positions where they need to fill positions. I was very lucky with my son. He went from Chicago from boot camp to Pensacola for A school, and now his duty station is Mayport, Florida. So he literally went 200 miles across Florida for his actual duty station. So we were very, very lucky. He requested to go to Spain. And he ended up, he wanted to go to Spain. His second choice was Italy, and his third choice was California. He ended up in Florida. Just to let you know, Carlos.
Are there preferences?
Okay, I technically never live in a different state before, but it might be, it might be a good experience. But I guess you could say there is a good chance that you'll be traveling either different states or different countries.
Well, when you,
She has an answer for the site.
yeah.
Okay, so I will let you know also. Okay, so that active duty, pretty much they're gonna give you your top 3 choices. You're gonna pick whichever you want, but it's gonna be where they need you. But with the reserves, they actually have where you get to choose where you go and for how long.
Oh,
So that's the difference, right? So you can pick up from 30 days. This is like active duty orders, basically. So you'll be picking up, if you wanted to go to Italy, you can go to Italy for 30 days. If you want to go to Italy for 2 years, you can extend it for 2 years. If you wanted to actually extend a little bit longer, you just put them with this command. And pretty much if they have that space available, they'll go and give an extra extension for 2 years.
do you hear that, Carlos? That's when you're in the reserves. You get a better selection of where you want to serve your 2 weekends out of the month. Or
Actually, no, it's actually full active duty.
oh, never mind. Active duty for this.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna, was about to correct on that. Okay, so that's only for full active duty officer. All right.
You're in the reserves, but picking up active duty orders. Cyrus, did you have something?
Yes, ma'am, I did. Another question. Could you possibly tell me what are the emerging trends in the cybersecurity position that the Navy is focusing on?
Oh.
Hold on, can you repeat that one more time?
Can you discuss the emerging trends that are happening in the Navy with cybersecurity?
Oh, yes. So everybody knows that there's been a lot of cyber attacks. So that is their main focus right now. Encryption is one of the biggest ones. So merging all these jobs together to focus on that cyber warfare, that is like the main focus right now. I hope that answered your question, but there's more involved. Obviously, there's more involved. But that is the main focus right now, especially with the Navy. I can't speak for any of the other branches, but as far as I know, that is one of the main things that they probably have.
That's interesting.
Oh, okay. That does answer the. Oh, my bad.
Other countries, so can you say which country? Well, obviously we're having China. Obviously, like we've had a lot of, pretty much, breakthrough. So certain things is so it's like You'll see in the news, it'll state it in the.
I did have something else going along with the question, if that's okay. Um, with that specific focus, does the Navy or are there any resources that could be at my disposal so I can stay ahead of the trend or the focus if I do go into the Navy?
That is a good question, and actually there is. So if you actually go onto the website, right, for the Navy website, you can actually go in specifically for, cybersecurity, and it'll give you a wider range, right? There's also hyperlinks that you can actually click on. So there's a thing called Navy Might, Navy HR. You click on there, and it'll give you a wide range of other resources also. to
Navy
kind of
what
get yourself-
now?
It's called, sorry, it's gonna be My Navy HR. It's that person. And this is pretty much our Bible with every job. If you're looking for a certain job, want to learn more, you just you'll just go ahead and put it in the topic in the search bar. But all of this right here will give you all the information of kind of what you're looking for, and it will give you the hyperlinks on where to go or what resources to reach out to.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. There's a lot.
What you got?
What does the master know?
Oh, the master room. So we are actually police. So military police officers, however, there's different focuses, right? So they got military working dog. You have some that actually work pretty much with cybersecurity at the same time. So they work with IT, or they're ones checking the gates, or they're ones doing fingerprints. So there's a wide range of things that they do.
So we have two questions.
And Maritime.
Number one question, how do we go about applying?
Okay, that is a good question. Number one thing would be contact us and we will set up a time and date where we can sit down and kind of go over concerns, questions, and then we also, suggest that you guys do research and bring those questions so that way we can answer them. Like I said, if I don't have an answer, I will find one for you and I will find the resources to actually help you out. So that way it'll help you make the better choice. But like I said, I suggest reaching out to other branches because maybe it may not be for you. However, I would suggest it is the best, but look for what is going to be in your best interest.
See who you get. Oh. Here is her contact information. Let me make sure you can see that through the share screen.
I will let you know. So,
Oh, it's not sharing. I do not think the business card's gonna show, guys, on the document finder. Do what am I doing? It's not showing on any screens on Zoom.
Somebody's makes for somebody to put it after work. Can you show us information?
Yes, I actually have like flyers here also. And then
That's not working.
The stuff here also. So here's, I guess, like some of the actual, what they offer as far as like benefits. while
Yes,
they're
ma'am.
in. So there's healthcare, and this is just like I said, a reserve portion, but it also pertains to the officers program. So it's the same basic benefits that they will get.
Okay.
While they're in.
So there's not a freeze right now on people joining.
No, I know these are the military wide, no, so we need numbers, obviously, with everything that's going on, we are.
And we have another question. While working towards a degree, what certifications can be paired with that degree to make you a better candidate?
Okay, so while you're in, right, so there is, I'm pretty sure, or if you guys heard of the thing called MWR, right? So there are certain certifications that they actually offer for free that I found out that deal with cybersecurity. So they have little mini classes that you can take that can help you to accelerate and to actually put the package together that's going to advance you.
And that's MWR.
Yes, MWR. And normally you think they're the travel, they deal with a lot of travel, right? But actually, they have certifications that they use for military. I just found this out this past year. Listen, thank you.
Okay, we have a hand raised. Mr. Cyrus?
Hello. Sorry with the crazy questions, but are there any professional networks or communities within the Navy for cybersecurity personnel, and can I get in contact or involved with these networks before in the Navy?
Oh, yes, so there actually is. So it just, okay, so there's certain programs, and then like I said, there's certain rates where you can actually talk to them because they've already experienced it. They can actually kind of give you leverage on where to go and who to speak to and everything like that. So I got the contact information, so you can reach out to me and I'm more than happy to pass that on to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're better than
Any other questions, guys?
Oh, and I do have one more thing. So, like I said, if you decide that this is the route you might want to take, just part-time as a part-time officer or part-time enlisted, they also offer, just so you know, healthcare benefits, which is TRICARE. So it's pretty much you are paying a copay for TRICARE, but it's 25 and you're pretty much covered for $90 versus paying so much. And then they got a family plan where you're paying $240 compared to 800 for a whole family. So that's kind of like an extra benefit. And then they also have life insurance. So you're pretty much kind of just getting those little extra incentives. And they also have scholarships to help you pay for school as well.
Awesome.
I do have one last question if possible.
Yes.
Are there No, excuse me. What factors are considered for advancing within the cybersecurity field? Is it just my time in service for doing the job, or are there any progress factors like how good of a job I do within the field of cybersecurity that allows me to move on to the next level or next rank?
So exactly with that last one, right? So it's exactly how you actually perform. So they go everything based on evals. So evals are pretty much an evaluation on how you conduct yourself at work. So you want to be the best of the best, get as many certifications, and pick up a lot of collateral. That's going to help you actually advance. And that's going to be, so you're going to be testing basically to move up for those promotions. So the more knowledge you have, the more you do, even volunteer work, that's going to help you actually be at the top. I hope that answered your question as well.
Yes, it does, ma'am. It kind of leads on to another question. I do apologize.
No. You're good.
Does the Navy offer any mentorship or coaching programs for those in cybersecurity roles inside or outside the Navy?
Yes, so you are actually, once you get in, you actually will have a mentor that actually will kind of like guide you and kind of let you know like what you need to do and where to go. Because they've already been there, done that. So they can actually help you out. But let's say if you kind of just want to know and kind of get a little bit more, I guess, not experience, but kind of get a little bit more information from them, you can also still, they'll reach out to you and kind of go over it and then kind of help you, I guess, kind of make that decision.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was a late arrival. Sorry about the question. You might have already stated the answers, but this is involving enlisting, correct?
Oh,
We're talking about going enlisted, which is no bachelor's degree. We're talking about going officer school or officer, which is a bachelor's degree, or even going in part-time as a reserve and making $20,000 as a reserve.
Oh, okay. And this what you just stated probably answers this question, but I would like to ask it anyway. As far as working towards the degree, there's no opportunities while doing so, right? Other than enlisting.
If she stated that if you went in as a reserve, there is money available to help continue your education.
They have tuition assistance program.
Oh, okay.
And you actually will have access to a GI Bill as well.
Oh, wow.
And remember, if you enlist in Texas, you get Hazelwood.
And the yellow ribbon.
And the yellow ribbon. So Texas loves our servicemen.
They do.
Thank you for the answers.
I have attached her flyer that she put out about benefits. I also attached her business card for your information. So get those in the chat.
I do have something to follow up on after Mr. Matthew Castilla's question for you. For applying to the reserve, if I want to continue my education through the bachelor's program to get that bachelor's degree, um, will I be able to transition from the reserve to officer if wanted to? And if I go into the reserves, are the requirements and qualifications different or less strict than I would be enlisting?
So to answer that question, so yes, so while you are actually in, you can actually already start working with an officer to get your package. Usually that will take a year. But because you already started the process, you actually cut half of the work. So pretty much as you get closer to your bachelor's, you're already getting kind of like, and you're also getting your work experience. So you're actually getting your foot in the door, but you're also getting paid for it, and the transition is going to be a lot easier. Now, and I'm sorry, could you say that second question also, or
Yes.
repeat it?
Yes, ma'am. Going if I'm going into the reserves for the part-time opportunity, um, are the requirements a little less strict or more flexible than it would be going into enlisting or officers?
So they pretty much will have the same requirements because it's all the way around. It's the same physical requirements.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But remember, it's all about kind of like a scholarship application, kind of like your job resume. The more you're able to put on that resume, so if you decide to go in as a reserve, okay, part-time, and you want to take the benefit of getting paid $20,000, them helping you with tuition, you're gaining that bachelor's degree with us, you're gaining certifications, you're also gaining that job experience with the military. All of these things are things that you can build onto that resume.
And they're getting offered all together, and you can actually get free certifications that are offered online.
And you, if you didn't hear it, because the fact that you're in as a reserve, you can get free certification, training and testing.
Yes.
Training and testing fees.
And then also there's a thing that they actually have, it's called Navy Community College. They're actually working on actually getting a bachelor, so if they were working and it's free while you're in the service and you're serving. So that's another opportunity if they want to get a second bachelor's or if they want to advance it there.
Do you hear that, guys? They'll pay, like if you get your bachelor's degree through us, they'll pay for your master's.
What?
What?
Wait, masters through them?
Yes.
They
Oh,
have,
maybe actually offers like a master's degree of their own.
Just a minute. What'd you say, Carlos?
The U.S. Navy, they actually offered a master's degree of their own.
Yes, sir.
They do, and they actually do it through, there's one called Navy Community College, and then there's a couple more. But that's the main one that I do know that they actually are working on getting more, I guess, like more, not just like for cybersecurity, but they're looking like for human resources, that they're adding more
Degree
information that
plans.
their service members are actually taken care of once they finish.
Wow, I actually did not know that.
Oh, I know. I never do this. Even when I was in the service, it wasn't until I actually started to recruit doing this with officers and everything, I started learning all about this.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna take advantage of this.
Guys, I try to bring you all the sweetest deals. I will tell you that. Okay.
That
So
does.
to kind of wrap up, to make sure we've taken care of all of our business, in the chat, you will find, okay, you will gonna find her flyer. You're gonna find her Word document, which is just some simple, answer question kind of thing. You're gonna find her business card, and you're gonna find another flyer that says the word attention across the top. Okay. We also need to make sure that you have signed in, okay, for attendance. Make sure you've signed in for attendance. I'm going to post the attendance link in the chat for you again, or you can scan the QR code. Make sure you get attendance, because I won't know who to send information to. Any final questions?
Yes. For you, Miss, are there any specific areas of specialization within the Navy cybersecurity that you would recommend that I would focus on, like network security or ethical hacking or cyber intelligence?
Speak up just a little louder for us.
Sorry, I do apologize. Can you hear me?
No, okay, I can hear it.
I was asking, are there any specific areas of specialization within the Navy cybersecurity that I should focus on to help me through the Navy cybersecurity program, like network security or ethical hacking or something such as those?
So network hacking is one of the big ones right now. So I would say, if anything, I would suggest that would be a good focus, but any of them are actually good.
Sweet.
Okay, we're going to post those websites that she gave one more time in the chat so that y'all have those. Okay. Any other questions?
When working with the Navy, do y'all get involved with other agencies? Do y'all work? Do your cyber warfare technicians, do they get assigned as a contractor to certain agencies and go?
It's case by case. So it just depends on cases. So I can't initially just say that they do, but it's case by case.
Oh, okay. And something like CEH and CHFI, the certifications, y'all uphold, or y'all recognize the EC councils?
They recognize any kind of, pretty much any kind that you have, because they take that into account. So the more you have, or the higher demands that you have as far as like those trainings, the better.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
To answer your question, yes, everybody has to go through some form of basic training in either the reserves, enlisted, and yes, even officer. Are there short time periods for all three?
There is. So for the officers, they can, like I said, it will be case by case, especially what your job is as an officer. Now, also same thing with enlisted, sometimes it can be anywhere from, I know it'll be 2 weeks of boot camp. So
Yeah.
2 weeks of boot camp, and then you'll go to your school, your A school, and then followed by your C school, just depend on how advanced you want to go.
Really? My kid was in boot camp for 8 weeks.
Yes, I know. When I found out, I was like, in 2 weeks, I was like, I did 8 weeks.
Yeah, my son just did 8 weeks.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
it just depends on what your job is.
Yeah.
So they'll take your 2 weeks, and then you'll do the 5 weeks for the officer training. So you'll do that, but like I said, you will go school to school to school pretty much until you finish. But normally it's gonna take 8 weeks and then followed by your A school. So you'll do your A school. Once you're finished with your A school, then you come back to your civilian life and continue just doing what you're doing. And then just that one weekend that you do, you just come back.
Okay.
Same thing as an officer, you just do your one weekend and then you have your civilian job.
Does that make sense, guys? So there is a reserve even for the officer level. So if you finish your bachelor's degree and you want to do part-time, make that 20,000, or it may be more with you being an officer. You have that option as well as even do it at part-time as an officer, or not getting the degree, but I want the financial assistance. So I'm going to go in as a reservist without my associates, without my bachelor's, and I'm going to let them pay for school while I get my associates and my bachelor's, and then transition into officer candidate school. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Questions?
Yes. So as far as like say about to leave the Navy. I've done my job in cybersecurity, and because I feel like I want to continue working, but as civilian, um, are there programs or resources to help with the transition to civilian cybersecurity roles?
Oh, yeah, so here's the good thing, right? So like, as you mentioned, right, so you do the reserves, you network with a lot of people and federal also. They will literally offer you a job right there because they know that, hey, you know what? I know this person, I know how they work, and they will literally try to flag you in and try to get you into any of their agencies.
Beautiful.
So that, yeah, that's civilian wise. And then also like there's also outside resources that can actually help you transition and help you find employment as well.
So we had a question, does the St. Philip's bachelor's degree qualify for the officer?
The officer program. So as long as it's an accredited school, then yes, they do.
So, and you're in luck because we are a SAC-COC accredited school. We are a cybersecurity center of academic excellence, accredited school. So yes, we are accredited and we do apply. Thank you, Josh, for your question. Anybody else? So we're going to wrap up. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for our visitor for coming. We appreciate you so much. If y'all would like to have more of some more information from her, we're going to add everything into the chat as well as onto the YouTube video. If you need any other information, you can reach out to me and I will make contact with them to contact you. Okay?
I appreciate you guys taking time, and I appreciate the questions. Like I said, if you have any questions or concerns, just feel free to reach out.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Y'all have a great day. Thank you for coming.